Okay, lovies, so I am back, but I'm back this time because I am in graduate school at the University of Chicago and I am working on my master's thesis. We're going to do a critical and creative thing happening at the same time. I was just reading up about practice as research. What's important for that is to document your process and your objectives and have a conceptual framework. So that's what we're going to do on here, is try and capture the uncapturable. Joking. It can be captured. That's what we're doing. So I am pursuing a critical thesis that investigates and analyzes and interrogates Princess and the Frog. I haven't worked with it before, and if y'all know me, which y'all mostly do, Disney is my jam. I've worked with tons of things from Disney, tons of things from like children's films and children's media, but I've never worked with this particular piece of text. So what I want to do is look at Black womanhood, dreams / aspirations in this film. What the film says about the dreams and aspirations, how they embody dreams and aspirations, and then also the internal work that occurs and the emotional labor that is involved in being a Black woman with a dream, what it means to be a Black woman with a dream. Let me pull back. So what I want to do with my math year, my master's in arts and humanities year, is investigate myself, is investigate my Black femininity, and see what is a experiential similarity with my community, and then what is just singular to me, right? And to do that, you got to research, you got to study, you got to figure out what's common, what's not common, and I'm doing that through a performance and creative type performance, and then also through the study of Princess and the Frog. So, objectives for the film: I'm going to analyze it and see what it says about dreams and Black womanhood in conversation with like what other groups of people, like white women specifically, and men, and then I guess men of color also in the film, what it says about their dreams and contradiction. I'm rambling because that's where we are in the process. And then in regards to my performance, it's supposed to be a more personal experience, because that was what intervention I think needed to happen in the contribution to the conversation that's taking place around Princess and the Frog, is that there's not the personal aspect added to it. There's not really an autoethnographic piece placed in conversation with the film, right? Like it very clearly is critical work that is done to say that the film didn't produce profit as well in the box office as they thought, has a strong consumer culture around it, that whiteness is still very central and doesn't speak its name, which whiteness doesn't do in general. That's why they made whiteness the way they made it, but whatever. And like New Orleans, the motifs of New Orleans, food, and Mardi Gras are all very, my hand looks huge, prominent in the film. And so that's nice and all, but I think that the personal, what did this film mean to young Black women, young Black girls, I guess, with a dream, growing into young Black women with a dream, is what we're going to explore. At this point, process-wise, I've written a play. It is about a young Black woman in the process of creating or trying to start creating her creative thesis for graduate school. And she has all these questions about creation and about purpose and spirituality, and she asks all these to the powers that be, the Holy Trinity, and God sends or dispatches Jesus to meet or bring this girl to this middle plane called Telos, and they go on this journey to take her to the gods of creation. And the whole thing is just about her internal struggles and lessons and truths and revelations being embodied on this plane on the way to go question and learn from the gods of creation. And on the way, she and Jesus form a bond that is interesting, to say the least. And so that's what it is right now. And I know for a fact I'm not going to get to perform the play. So now it's about figuring out how to authentically present this work in this moment, right? So like right now it feels that I have these two disjoined things, which I know belong with each other and belong in conversation with each other, because it's almost as if like a performance where the seed is Princess and the Frog. What does that tell us about identity? And what does the perspective and what do dreams involved with and in Princess and the Frog and around Princess and the Frog, what do those show us about identity, specifically identity of Black women? So that's where we are, is all these things swirling around. I am not sure of what I'm supposed to be legitimizing, right? Like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be fighting for. And I know those seems like weird places to be, but that's what I feel. I feel like I'm being asked to validate and explain and express before I'm being allowed to explore, right? So I guess that's my goal now, is to keep taking in information, and I guess to disseminate information like this and in the papers that I'm being required to write and things, the process, the academic process. But then also to take a stand and to take a step back and say, wait a minute, I'm uncomfortable with the fact that I am not giving myself nor being given the breadth to just explore, right? Because I think a lot of what I'm going to get from this film and what I'm going to get from any performance, and especially what I'm going to get from this year for myself, is going to come out of exploration. So that's where we are. So if this is of interest to you, you can keep tuning into this. I'll make it its own little playlist on my channel. And I don't know what the episodes are going to be like. I think some of them will probably be me working through whatever is happening, creatively and then critically. And if you haven't seen Princess and the Frog, you might want to see that, I guess, to get on board with this journey. So, yeah. Be good, lovies.